It's not. Okay, we are recording. Good. All right, now we go to our agenda. Oh, what is this? A manual planning chart? Don't worry, we won't discuss it today. We will show you the exact opposite of this old-fashioned planning. This manual planning charts are not really valid anymore. Industry 4.0 is transforming the way companies produce, improve, and distribute their products. Manufacturers are integrating new technologies and going with digitalization. That's why it's also very important to stick to this concept with production planning and leave old-fashioned manual charts behind and be open to new possibilities. Our aim in this webinar is to show you SAP solutions for these planning activities. So first we will start with concircle introduction, and then we go to SAP Planning History, then we go to conOperation presentation, system video, and our Q&A, as I mentioned before. So who are we? Girls power. My name is Aygirim. You can call me Gera as well. I am responsible for marketing at concircle. We have Selen, product manager of conOperationScheduling solution, and Inna Stump. She's our wonderful account manager.
Well then, thank you very much, Gera. Also from my side, a big welcome. Some of you might already be familiar with who concircle is, but for those who are not familiar yet, I would like to give you a brief overview. For the past 15 years, we've been a consulting firm, and we are now in 4 locations across Europe, which is Austria, Slovakia, Germany, and Switzerland. But we have projects all over Europe as well as internationally. We at concircle, we are passionate about what we do. We are very much into technology and the possibilities it provides to enhance business and processes, just like Gera mentioned at the beginning. And our primary goal is also to develop solutions that are tailored to our customers' needs and which also add a value to the company. And to do this, we don't shy away from discovering new paths together with our customers. And what else sets us apart? Thank you. Is that we have a deep knowledge of the manufacturing industry. Because I mentioned we've been more than 15 years we've been active in the consulting branch. And mainly we have a knowledge in the mill industry, which is steel, metal, and paper, engineering, automotive, and aerospace. But it's not limited. There are also customers in the area of food or textile. Further, it's also always good to know we are an owner-led company, and we really put an emphasis on communications on eye level, regardless of the rank. So it is from the shop floor to the C-level. We also emphasize a rapid implementation. Everybody should be able to use the new processes and tools as soon as possible. That's why we don't delay any projects. And we are quite proud to say that 98% of the projects that we start are implemented successfully. And then I just mentioned on the first slide, or my first slide, is that we don't shy away from discovering new paths. And that's why we also develop our own products and solutions, which are tailored to the industry needs. It's important to note that our products are not there to replace the SAP standard models. They're more here to complement them. Because as you know, SAP models are to cater a variety of industries and businesses. And in order to enhance the efficiency for our customers' industry through increased usability and automation, we have developed our own add-ons. These have been developed in the areas of product data management, which, for example, is our configure. It's a standard to, it's an add-on to the standard variant configuration to increase the flexibility and the benefits in design and runtime. It is available at multi-level configuration, and it's also possible for online visualization. Further, we also in this area offer a product called QPPD from one of our partner companies, for which we are the preferred project partner, and have also developed further add-ons. QPPD supports the administration and maintenance of regulation and standards, as well as other master data. It is 100% customizable, and for the manufacturing company, it has a nice benefit of reducing the amount of characteristics in the classification. In the area of quality assurance, we offer a tool called QEasy, which simplifies the QM processes within the SAP system. And that ranks from inspection planning over the inspection lot, the sample creation, and then the test recordings. In the area of production scheduling, for which I guess you are all here today, we have our conOperationScheduling, but we will get to that in just a moment. And there's also the conDP. It's a flexible tool to support supply chain planning processes, such as sales, budget planning, and allocation. Within the area of ME, MII, and DMC, we offer our own concircle MES template, which is very flexible and can be quickly adapted to your specific requirements. It has especially been proven successfully for role-based manufacturing, and it has an interface to the SAP standard. Within the workflow automation, we offer ConFlow, which enables you to map complex workflows without SAP workflow knowledge, because it is using ABAP technology instead. And then to complement ConFlow, there's also ConMobile, which enables the company to display each workflow on a mobile device with flexible web interfaces. And then the newest addition to our product family is a blockchain connector, conUBC. It enables the connection between the SAP ERP system and blockchains, as well as it automates the workflow between those two systems and then also within the ERP system alone. But yeah, so feel free to visit our website for more information, or you could also directly contact me. And then all our consulting solutions can be clustered in the following areas: digital supply chain, digital enterprise core, and digital manufacturing. Within all these pillars, it is always our goal for consulting you on your own processes, design workflows and processes that work for you, and implement customized IT solutions. So in digital supply chain, it is everybody's goal to have the supply chain more efficient and safer for everyone. In the digital enterprise core, it is about the end-to-end processes, which are important for success. And they usually build around the core, the SAP ERP central core application. And we offer our support and consultancy mainly in the area of logistics and operations. And it is our aim to develop digital solutions to meet your current business requirements while maintaining a manageable landscape. So it should all be fit to your needs. And this area also includes hardware consulting and testing. And then finally, in the digital manufacturing area, our experts are here to help you with the strategy consulting, design and implementation of manufacturing solution. And what's really interesting about this pillar is that we have developed a demo case at the Vienna University of Technology. There's a pilot, it's a so-called pilot factory, where there's a paperless production, which not only allows us to show potential customers of what is possible in today's with today's processes and technologies, but also to continuously develop our solutions. And it's also important to note that I've just showed you before the our own products, but we are not only focused on our own products, we are also experienced partners for the SAP standard models. And in the case of production planning, which I guess everybody's interest is here today, we're able to offer you all of these products, which are along with conDP and conOS. So you see production planning, we're able to offer in all of the three areas. So feel free, if there's anything of interest to you, to reach out to us. And now I will hand over to Selin to give you some more insights into the production planning. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I just wanted to stay in this slide because I wanted to mention also the products that are shown here. Short about myself, my name is Selam Marangozoğlu. I'm working as a SAP PP consultant, mainly in the production planning part, because we have for the execution part our manufacturing team. So I'm focusing actually in the production planning part since 2019 in concircle. And I'm the product manager of conOS and conShift tools, which conShift we're not going to cover today. And we're going to be focused in conOS. But you see some other products here that, like starting with cons, it's obviously our own SAP add-ons. conDP, concircle demand planning, conOS, concircle OperationScheduling tools. These are our SAP add-ons, and probably you all know SAP standard solutions for production planning and high-level planning, like IBP, PPDS, S4 PP, also Fiori applications in S4 environments, and also SAP DMC Reo. We are also supporting Reo. We have also a showcase in Pilot Factory. If you would be interested, we would also show it. But Reo would not be covered today. We're not going to talk about Reo today as it is in cloud environment. We're going to talk about the on-premise solutions. So if we start with the whole planning history of SAP, we divided, for this presentation, we divided the whole planning concept in SAP into two, strategic planning and production planning. So strategic planning, as we all know, that planning in the short term would not be most suitable solution. For companies, we would need also long-term plannings considering the whole forecast and sales performance and also production, the capacity. So for this strategic planning, SAP offered actually two different paths. The first path, SNOP and demand planning. For that path, they already started in 1990s with the R3 environment with SNOP solution. And then with converting into APO, they also offered demand planning solutions, which were not covering the whole requirements. And then like in that case, SAP didn't divide it into two, but we concircle saw this requirement even 2 years before SAP, and we started developing conDP, concircle demand planning, which is running in the ECC environment. 2 years later, SAP also offered IBP solution for the SNOP and demand planning. These both solutions can also work together, which we are still in the ECC environment. This was the history of SAP and concircle in the field of having new products in this SNOP area. The other area in the strategic planning that we saw is the network planning. And for the network planning, SAP firstly created a PO SNP solution, and then they merged it with the IBP. So we can see that APO in the beginning was like a big concept for both covering this IBP solutions we have right now and also PPDS solutions. And it was seen that it's like a big and complicated concept, and it's divided with the development of the new products. Then it's divided into IBP SNOP demand and IBP supply. We as concircle also supporting IBP and also ConDP solutions for the long-term planning, but this is not our main area for the today's presentation, because we really want to focus on the production planning part, what's happened in the development of the production planning solutions within SAP, also within concircle. So the whole story with the production planning actually began really early, like compared to the long-term planning. So in the 1979, even in the R2 solution, which I'm going to also show some little screenshots of them, SAP was already offering production planning solutions, also scheduling solutions. But you may like think that it was not that much usable. Maybe at that time it covered the need, but they saw that it was like really limited scheduling functionalities was there. And with R3 in 1995, they developed more detailed scheduling options like backward, forward scheduling, finite scheduling, more details like considered during this production planning. So I think you may have experience with all these CM27, CM01 evaluation boards, which is again covering in some of our customers still covering the needs, but it is not catching the new digitalization path. At that part, it's divided to two. So we would see like this, focus on automated planning and focus in interactive planning. So focus in automated planning, APO already had some automated planning solutions with heuristics, but it was still a limited, therefore, and also it was standalone. And then SAP developed also in S4 environment embedded PPDS solution, which was easier to make the old data migration and also extended functionalities. And now they're developing, and they will call it differently, S4 MPS, Manufacturing Production Scheduling. This would be actually like PPDS solution, but also in the Fiori environment. In ePPDS already has Fiori applications, but MPS, they would offer more like tank planning solutions, more with the more functionalities, and also they would use more advantage of the UI with MPS solutions. This was the path of automated planning. We do see, of course, the advantage of the automated planning when the whole system is ready for this, because in order to go to this automated planning step, you would need to know your system well and to know your production well and fit them together. So your system should be a digital twin of your real production environment. If you have this in your system, then automated planning would be set in your system. But if we say that we have this gap, and if we want to go to more in short-term planning and like in +1 week planning horizon to have fast actions by using again the advantage of the UI, and also if we want to use the simple planning actions and would need more power of planner in the whole planning scenario, then we will go to in this focus of interactive planning part. And in S4, there is already also in GUI and also in the Fiori. I would let's maybe keep them separately. In the GUI S4, there were also some extensions in this planning board, tabular board, and also capacity evaluation reports, which was extended in the functionality, but still covering the same as R3 was doing. Then with the 2019, SAP just published that they have some Fiori applications, early of 2090s, different Fiori applications that is actually covering up this usability problems of CM27 Planning Board. But I will show, maybe in the demo session, I can also jump to the standard application. It is still limited because it is not, it would need some master data work, little, but you have to, for example, create pacemakers. You are not able to plan all of your work centers. You have to define only the bottleneck, and bottleneck work center can be planned. So such kind of limitations. And also the UI is not flexible. Therefore, what we offered in 2020 in S4 environment are conOS, concircle operation scheduling add-on. You see that it's written S4 there because we are developing in S4 environment, but it's also suitable for ECC. So if you have Fiori, if your Fiori launchpad is active, so you can find conOS there. This is what we have developed in the focus of interactive planning. To go to more into details with some screenshots, I know that it's not that much visible with this little screenshots, but it still, I think, gives this impression how it works. So like I said, in R2 PP, I would even not probably need to talk about this, but also the idea was of SAP was that it is just a product which has the basic planning options. So you would not expect too much thing for R2. Then R3, extensive scheduling strategies, and also the visualization of the evaluation of the capacity requirements, capacity of the work centers, and also this extensive scheduling strategies such as not just backward, forward, but also setup optimization, and also like reducing waiting time. Such kind of a bit complicated strategies were also active in this R3 environment. If you go to the lower part with the automated part, in APO, PPDS, a better planning board, more flexible compared to what we have in R3. And also heuristics, which is I think the most important part there. So they were really good at building of this different heuristics and building different automated planning strategies. And then SAP decided to create embedded PPDS also with this 2 Fiori applications with complex heuristics, with, of course, the disadvantage is the additional license in there. And MPS, this was actually a photo, like screenshots directly from SAP, as we are also taking part of SAP partner tests. And they're also sending us the new functionalities and this beta versions of the new products. And so it is actually a real screenshot from a MPS application, which they will use actively, this Gantt diagram and really this power of UI actually. This was the path of automated. Then if we go back to the interactive part, the upper part, then we have again the S4 with usability issues that we saw, and S4 Fiori applications, we also took part of the partner testing. And the biggest issue that we saw there is that there are 3 different applications which are for different actions. But what we saw while doing all these projects, especially working with the planners with this short-term planning, we saw that even going from jumping from one application to another application is not what they want. They want to have one cockpit that they would reach everything in the same screen with basic like maybe in the background complicated functionalities, but the usability should be really easy to understand, and this information, this knowledge should be easily transmitted from one person to another. So this was the reason that we say, okay, we don't need different kind of applications which are doing different functionalities. One is planning, one is showing what has planned, and the other one is showing the utilization. We say that we don't want to keep this approach of SAP. We want just one cockpit for the all actions. So we said that, okay, we're going to develop then the future of the interactive planning. So we said that we're going to develop a planner cockpit for multiple interactive actions. Of course, this was not the only motivation of us. If we want to sum up our motivation, so our motivation for the development of conOperationScheduling is first one, to fill the gap of modern capacity planning within S4. Because like we have a really great environment to develop a product with this new UI functionalities, with the all this again functionalities, or like with these extensions in the Fiori library, we can use them because they already exist. The second motivation is to fill the gap of detailed planning within SAP manufacturing, which we said that, okay, we have Reo for the cloud platform, but we said that we're gonna have a product which will show actually the real-time actions. In the next slides, I will also point out this topic, this push technology that we are using. So what is this push technology is that when a confirmation is coming from the shop floor, then we can show it directly in conOS. So planner would not need to do anything, would not need to refresh anything. If any new order is coming, they will see. If confirmation is coming, they will see. So they are actually, planner has more power and not just for planning, but also tracking what they have planned. So they planned something, but it is working as they planned. So they will see this real-time information with conOS. So we also wanted to fill this gap. Third one, of course, to use modern technologies in backend and frontend to create a better user experience. This is, I think, clear even from the beginning, and we will also show it in the system. To use the integration of a S4 system. So since we are already in S4 or ECC environment, it's easy for us to jump from conOS to another S4 application. So we're also using the benefits of SAP standard Fiori applications. So as an example, we have a visualization of the missing parts in conOS. And when a planner wants to solve this missing part issue, they can jump to another SAP standard Fiori application. So we actually want to use whatever we can and what a planner would need while doing this whole planning steps. Then the last motivation, fifth one, central application for planning relevant activities, that we said that we would need a planning cockpit. So this conOS that we are talking about, how does it look like, and what are the main points of our product? It's a SAP add-on for interactive planning, and this is really strong at the visualization and to keep tracking of the operation. So how do we do this? How do we make it better? We do use different kind of display modes. So this one, what we have is the Gantt display. And what we have in this graphical planning of operations, we do show setup times of the operations, processing times, also tear down times if they have, backflashing. So like backflashing, we wanted to mean actually this confirmation, so this real-time confirmation information. Also what we show is the utilization curves. So you can think like it's a mix of, so if you're familiar with the SAP GUI transactions, CM01, CM27, you will see that it's a mix of two. So during the planning, I also have information about the utilization of the work center. So, which is all flexible. We will see some different kind of displays, but we do show also the utilization. We do show also non-working periods. So what we see here is that this gray areas is the non-working times, weekends, for example. If we go more in details about this screenshot, you would see the dispatched operations in the upper part, and the deallocated operations, unplanned operations in the middle, and the lower part is the utilization per capacity. This whole configuration we see here, this 3-chart configuration, also this coloring there, so this greens, blues, I will explain what they mean. These are all configurable. So I just jumped to the last part, but the configuration, this flexibility is coming from the BRF Plus Business Rule Framework solution of SAP. So we are using SAP standards BRF solution in order to configure this visualization of our product. So also the coloring, also the information that you see there, it's easily configurable with BRF. What do we have also? Push technologies, so events are included in the planning. So when an event is coming from the ERP system or from an external system to ERP, as soon as it's saved, we are able to show it directly in conOS. We are also open for custom extensibility. So if you would like to have extension in a Fiori application, a SAP standard Fiori application, it would not be that easy. But with conOS, I will show what different kind of things that we have done. So we can really do extensions easily in our product. Not only this development, I mean, not just developing a new functionality, but conOS also has its own customizing path that also a functional consultant or a really good key user can also do some changes in our product. Deployment options, as I said, it's applicable for both systems, for S4 and ECC. And for embedded gateway, that we also support standalone gateway. So if your Fiori system is not embedded, we also support it. But embedded gateway, we can suggest that everything, like we would suggest the embedded gateway solution as that's the implementation, and also enhancements are working better in that way. If you would want to learn more details about this, all prerequisites, because to use this product, we would need a minimum version, ABAP version, and UI versions. It's not in this presentation, but if you would be interested, then I would be glad to share these details also. So we said that we don't want to jump from one application to another application like SAP standard works, but we show right now more than one application. This is not because they're having different functionalities. Actually, all three of them has exactly the same functionality, but with different displaying options. So planning board is supported with a Gantt diagram. So it is easy to view the relationships between different operations, because in planning board you would have this chance to see more than one work centers at the same time. The second application is the work calendar. Work calendar is like Outlook calendar, working for one work center. Now we also extended it that you would be able to see calendars of two different work centers at the same time. But it is really powerful for the planning of single work center, and when you want to see more information about this order. I will show what I mean in the next slides. Tabular planning is when the objects in the Gantt chart become too small, because maybe just one back, it might be too small to see this information written in there. And if you need some more information, some more material dependent informations or some characteristics of this order, if you need this information during planning and during sequencing the orders, then tabular board is really powerful in that. So these are three planning applications that we have. When we deliver conOS, when we import conOS, you would have all three of them. Then we decide which one is fitting your production better. Some of our customers are already using more than one. Like for some value streams, they're using planning board. For some of them, they're using work calendar. So it's really dependent on your production, which one you can use. Also short information about this tile that we have in Fiori Launchpad is that we show also this information about the number of deallocated operations, and also the number of missing parts in this variant. So planner, even from the beginning, even from the Fiori Launchpad, will be able to see the information of his or her responsibilities. So like even now I know that I need to plan for operations. Planning board, the first application with the Gantt diagram, I think I already showed it in the first slide. I would like to show it directly in our system. So I'm not gonna talk too much about the screenshot, but the most important thing that we have to know is that we have this whole functionality function toolbar in the upper part, which is completely configurable. Like depending on your wish, you can hide some of these functions, you can add some new functions, and you can also group them. So this is actually the part that is doing this whole functionality. For the planning itself, of course, we also have planning and unplanning buttons, but you can also use drag and drop. So you can also easily drag an operation from the deallocated chart and drop it to the dispatch chart. About the functionality itself, we also have setup optimization logic that you can build your own setup matrix, again, using this BRF engine. And with the help of this matrix, we are able to show you the most efficient way to sequence your orders. So if you have such case, for example, if you have a painting machine that should consider the colors of the materials during the production planning, for example, if this is the most efficient way from dark to white, and if you can really build a matrix with that, for example, between two orders which has the same color should not have setup time, and these from white to black should be the worst option in the sequencing, you can easily define in the matrix. And in there, we actually have our own optimizer. So we don't use SCM optimizer, or we don't use this optimization logic of CM27. We are using Genios optimizer, which is again a SAP product. And we are, with the help of Genios, we are able to give you the most efficient way to sequence your orders. Another point that maybe you have noticed in the screenshot, this whole coloring there can be different. So in the first screenshot, it was always like green and blues. Actually, greens were representing the production orders and blues were representing the planned orders. That was that concept in that board, but the concept in this board is independent of their order type. We show them depending on their groupings, so color groups. Second application, work calendar. Like I said, it is like Outlook calendar, which you have different options to see weekly, daily, or 3 months your plan in this work center. And since here we don't have like two different charts like dispatched and deallocated, we are showing here the dispatched operations, and we are showing on the left side this work list for you to see this unplanned operations. So here, how this drag and drop works is that I do see, as a planner, I see this whole list of unplanned orders, and then I can easily mark them. Multiple, I can also do the planning. I can mark them, and by dragging and dropping to the calendar, I can plan them easily. Also, to deallocate them, I can select more than one there and then unplan them to the work list. Yeah, so like I said, that we have developed also another option that, for example, if you have two alternative work centers, if you have assembly area 1, assembly area 2, which are alternative to each other, with the new release, we also give this option to show them at the same time and plan between these two different alternative work centers. So we have the tabular planning board, and in this tabular planning board, like I said, it is not that strong in the visualization as the others have. because we are not able to use the coloring options here because we have a UI limitation in there. But if you want to have to see more information, and if you would like to see the characteristic and consider them in the sequencing, then you can use this tabular board. Like I said, the functionalities is all the same. So setup optimization is applicable for all three. All these planning strategies are also applicable for all of them. Only how to visualize them is different between different applications. And the mission in the end is actually to have just one cockpit for the planner to plan it, or plan the orders in this work center, and also to see the performance of the production with Gantt diagram. And also, if they want, they can also use conshift to change the shift times. And even some of our customers started to buy this white screen just to use conOS better. And they are really seeing the advantage of it to have just one cockpit, not running from one transaction to another, just being aware of all planning relevant information with the same screen. I would like to give you some customer examples before going to the demo part. Right now we have 6 conOS customers which have completely different processes and which are using different applications with different extensions. So this is one example from a company which is a leading international supplier of lighting solutions. And they are 2 years ago they implemented MTO process. And they really want to highly track the MTO process in order to improve the customer satisfaction in the end. So, and they want to also check the delivery groups across the different plants, because they have different plants also in Austria and UK, and they have the same delivery groups which are requested from the customer. And since they are producing different plants, they were having struggles to see which one is blocking my whole delivery. So challenges in production planning and control in this customer is this lack of visualization of customer confirmation date during production planning. So while planner was planning an order, they were not aware if they were having any delay of the customer confirmation date, if this transport date is considered. So they were not able to see this information during planning. And they were having also struggles identifying of delivery group blockers, if which plant is blocking the whole delivery, and quick reaction to production delays. So when they have backlogs, how they proceed with backlogs was not that clear. And they wanted to have a compatible solution in all plants. So what we have developed there is that in order to check the OTD performance, we have developed the visualization of the different confirmation dates of the customer order for this production order. And if they are, during the planning itself, if they are passing this confirmation dates, then their orders are getting read. So, and they will get a message in the end that they are passing the confirmation date. So this coloring, what we see here, actually has a meaning in the background. So the green ones here is actually fitting with the confirmation date. Blue ones are MTS orders, so blue ones are not relevant with the confirmation dates. And this red, this orange one is still not passing the confirmation date, but would be better. Like if you would be able to produce it earlier, then please push it a bit earlier. But the red ones should really have to be fixed. Even with this like coloring information, even with this warning functionality, they are really able to see and track if they are catching their MTO dates. Like we said, conOS is an interactive tool. We give the power to the planner, but in the meantime, we are supporting them to make the best decision. So we are not leaving them alone. We are not doing something that they're not aware of. We are supporting them while they are doing the plan. So this was the one solution which improved the OTD performance of one of our customers. So solution: activation of date-sensitive color configuration via BRF Plus in conOS. Second option, a second example from one of our customers that are doing the slot planning. They are international leading machinery producer, and they have done the successful conversion of assembly to cycle production in multiple. So they have different cycles in a day in different plants. In some plants, they have 2 cycles, 2 slots. In some plants, they have 12, 13 slots per day, which are producing really fastly. And what they were using at that time is this EXA solution. What we have shown them as a proof of concept, which slot planning is also our standard solution, is that they would be able to define some slots for their work centers. So what I mean by definition of slots, you may think that we can also create some shifts, but shifts are actually not really supporting us in that manner, because the easiest explanation is that you can only define 9 shifts per day. You cannot define more than 9 shifts in SAP, but we give them opportunity to define the slots how they want, but of course they also have to fit in the shift times. And we also give them to control this slot. So if they have any maintenance and any kind of issue in this work center without changing the shift times, they are able to block their slots. And when the slots are blocked, so in that case, we do see 2 slots, empty slots, and these are filled slots, one with a missing part problem, the other one is fitting. But like here, it's a little bit small, but we see that this slot is blocked. And there is also a text there showing that it's maintenance will be planned in there. So that their challenges, what they have, the confirmation of the customer order date followed by deadline monitoring. So they are also tracking their customer order date there. And they can also see their component availability. And they also wanted to establish a uniform international standard, and that was the proof of concept that we built for them. Definition of slots per capacity within shift times, and consideration of slot times during planning via conOS. So this slot object that we have created is only for conOS. So you would not be able to see the slots in CM27, because if we plan something in conOS, you would see this order is planned in all transactions in your ERP system. So even if you go into the order and check it, you will see that it's planned. Even if you go to CM27, you will see in the Gantt diagram, it's planned. The only thing that is not shown or in GUI is that this slot object, because it's really specific for conOS. And for the maintenance of slots, we also built a definition part, like definition transaction, for which capacities, how many slots we have, and how it's seen is like this. So here we have different slots. some of them filled, some of them not. And here we have a little slots. I think it was 45-minute slots, and they can easily drag the orders and then plan them into the slots. Another customer example, the last one, is a network planning. So until now, we have always, I have always talked about the production orders or planned orders. But it's really important to mention that we are not just only supporting production or planned orders. We are, of course, supporting process orders. We are also supporting maintenance orders, so PM orders, as soon as they have a capacity requirement. Then we are also showing and planning them with conOS. Also, we do show PS orders. So this network. Our main mission is to support, of course, production planner. But if you already have conOS and if you want to use conOS in different manners, like network planning, we also give this solution to see this whole project, like the capacity usage of different departments and this whole preparation step for the project. If you use the SAP PS module actively, then it's also possible with conOS to plan these operations and reschedule them, because this customer that we are talking is one of the world's largest manufacturer of rubber stamps, and they're actively using SAP PS module. And they had this challenge in this limited usability of planning board with an SAP standard, because SAP also offers this solution for the PS, this planning board. And they were having struggles with the identification of the different projects, and rescheduling of all planned project steps were not so easy with that planning board. And since they already had conOS for production planning, they also wanted to give it a try if they would work with network planning. And they actually saw that it's actually working with conOS. Also the planning, also here we have, now we have different coloring option, which is showing different projects as different colors. So these projects are requiring the capacity of the same departments in that case. And they're able to see the whole steps of the project and replan them together. So with the all sub operations. So usage of conOS specific rescheduling functionality to replan all project steps. So what are these functionalities that I was talking about? Is of course control center function, automatic updates of the planning board, push technology that we are using when something happens, when something is deleted. I'm able to see it right away with conOS. You can also deactivate this option with conOS customizing, so you can decide how you want to use conOS. Drag and drop of single or multiple operations within different planning charts. Simulation of different schedules. Undo function, which is also a functionality that is mainly used during short-term planning. So planner have this option to simulate their last action. So for example, I do select one order and dispatch this order to the next day. And when I see that when I plan this order to the next day, it's creating a missing part issues, then I can undo my function and I can try to find another way. So I have this option to make some little simulations during this whole planning activities. Scheduling heuristics for automation. It's important to mention that conOS is an interactive tool, so it's not doing automated planning. But if you would like to build some heuristics, so if you would like to give some sequence of the orders while doing the manual planning, we give also this option to sequence orders in conOS. So you have seen this work list. If you have some parameters that you can build a sequence in this work list, conOS also considers this sequence in the work list while planning, which is actually not done in the standard SAP solutions. I mean, not PPDS, but the S4 solutions. What we can also do is to do the material availability check during planning or for the whole for all materials in this work center. We do have setup optimization, as I mentioned before. Besides these planning functionalities, we do also have some order actions like releasing production order, printing working papers, even technically closing production order. We have this option in conOS. If you want, you can hide it. If you want, you can even add a Z transaction navigation from conOS. So it's really flexible there. Finite and infinite planning as a strategy, ATP check during planning, display of PRTs. So this is also important because we are not only showing the components of this order, we are also showing the production resource tools. And not only showing them, we are also able to do the availability check of these. And when I talk about this availability check, I mean we are using the standard customization of this ATP check. So conOS doesn't have any other kind of ATP check logic. We are already using the same ATP check logic as you have for this order type and for this material. So there shouldn't be any difference with the ATP job and with conOS ATP function. What we have is the overview of the utilization of several capacities at the same time. So like more than in CM01, because you are able to see just one work center, we do show different work centers at the same time with the information of the shift times. You can also fix dispatch orders so that nobody would be able to move them. This is also a conOS specific function. And also we are supporting integrated planning of the entire collective order. So if you have a collective order case, which was in that case with the customer that has the slot planning, they were using collective order. So they really had one-to-one relationship between the finished product production order and semi-finished order. So since they had this one-to-one relationship, we were able to do the midpoint scheduling of all the operations of different order levels. As I said before, we are supporting the planning of different order types. So production order, planned order, process order, which is process order is not well supported in S4 environments. We have also seen this issue, and we have, for example, setup optimization. We have also activated setup optimization for the process industry. You will be able to plan and see your maintenance and repair orders and also project system orders. So all kind of orders that are creating a capacity requirement can be planned and can be seen in conOS. Those were the big list that I showed was the standard functionalities that we bring to all of our customers. And besides that, we do have this opportunity to make enhancements relevant with your wish, like how you want to see conOS during planning. So there is this possibility to do the specific representations. Like in that case, the lower screenshot, we see the tank visualization there, which was actually prepared for customer which are producing milk in Austria, and they wanted to see the utilization of the tank, so the percentage, the filling percentage of the tank during planning. So we show them an option that while they plan an order, they are also able to see how their tank is filled. So this flexibility we have, because in Fiori library, if there is a visualization option there, we are really easily able to use it in conOS. It's just depending on our creativity and how we want to see this information. We can build our own heuristics, which, because we, like I said, we have this option to manipulate the scheduler. So even if we are using the standard scheduler of SAP, we do have chance to manipulate the scheduler when we have a different sequence in our work list. So we can also do this extension and also jumps to own programs. So we are already jumping from conOS to different applications. Like I said, we are also using the advantage of being in Fiori environment. So we are also jumping to other standard Fiori applications. But besides that, we can also jump to your Z applications in the web GUI or SAP GUI form, because for us it is just a URL link that we want to jump, and this is easily customizable with conOS customizing path. To mention also this screenshot that we have, also that it was a proof of concept that we were preparing for one of our customers. During the planning of the production, also seeing the persons that are working in this work center. So here we do have different people working in this work center. In this case, 4 people are working in this work center. And we have this option, like technical option, to split the work between different people. So you see, for example, here 1, 2, 3 operations. Actually, these are one operation, one order, but it's split to 3 different people. This was a proof of concept, so we don't deliver it in the standard way right now. But the technical concept is there. So like if you have individual capacities for this work center, you would be able to do the splits within these individual capacities. Also, you can also check the qualifications of these persons while doing this, because if you are actively using this qualifications and also this individual capacities, then you would be able to also bring it to conOS and then to check these qualifications during the planning of production orders. Sorry. So the last part before going showing our demo is our roadmap, because I have been telling lots of functionalities, but of course these functionalities didn't came with just one release. We have actually had 5 releases, And you will see this all functionalities that we have implemented with all different release. And the new one that we have currently updated in our customers is this conOS 2112. So we are trying to make release in every 6 months. What within this time, like for example, this one is released 2112 and already implemented to customers. And now we are currently developing 2206, which has, besides this showing of shift times, also the maintenance of the shift. So in the beginning, I told that I'm doing the product management of 2 concircle products, conOS and conShift, which were until now 2 separated products. But our mission with this new version is to put conShift inside conOS. So while seeing the production and while doing the production planning, also planner would be easily be able to jump to work center and change the shift times if they would need an extra shift. Like we said, we are not forgetting our motivation and our goals in the beginning. We want to make it as easy as possible, and we want to make a cockpit. And so therefore, we said that we would not need 2 different products for that. We will deliver this whole planning relevant functionalities with only 1 product. And also, like I said, that we have this releases in every 6 months, but in the middle of them, if you see any bug fixes, if I see any bug fixes, like any bugs actually, we are doing the bug fixes and we are doing hotfix transport. So if you have any errors in between, you don't have to wait for the other release. It is working really fastly from our side. So even like in this 5 months period between 2 releases, we did 3 hot fixes. So we want you to use our product as correct as possible. So without disturbing anything and without also annoying the users. So it's important also to say that we are really fast at fixing and developing things. What we also have, maybe it's also really important to mention because I saw that it's required in most of the customers, is the frozen periods. So we said that conOS is a short-term planning product. And even in this short term, if you say that nobody should touch the orders in the next day because they're already released, production is already informed, so this period, nothing has to be changed, then you can use this new functionality, frozen periods, because we are really actually freezing this period and we are not allowing planner to deallocate or allocate a new order there. So before going Q&A, I will jump to the system. I hope I can change the screen that I shared easily. I have to close it and then share it again. I think now it should work. So you are seeing the Fiori Launchpad right now. And what we have, maybe I can make it a bit zoom in. So we have We are now in the Fiori launchpad of our test system, concircle test system. And here we do see, like here, standard applications. So here, actually, right under our conOS applications, you see the S4 capacity planning applications, and also demand forecasting and material data planning. So these are all the standard Fiori applications. And when you activate import conOS, and when you have the relevant roles, authorizations, then you would be able to see these 4 tiles. So in the beginning, I just showed 3 tiles with the different displays. And we have this extra dashboard one. Dashboard one is not for planning. Dashboard one is planned to be shown in the production area. So in this dashboard application, you will not be able to do any planning actions or any change in the orders. It is just the visualization of the planning, the result of the planning. And the goal is actually to show this dashboard in the shop floor, so that people would be aware of which product is coming, and how this utilization or the working times are going to be done for the next weeks, because they're already seeing the orders that they have to produce in their pods, or if they're using ME in their ME pods. So let's go back to the main applications for the planning actions. We have this planning board application, which I want to show today. And this information, like I said, it's just real-time information. And when I go inside the application, and maybe it's better if I just make it like this for you to see better. In that case, maybe starting from the whole selection parameter, we do have this planning profile concept. If you are familiar with this capacity planning boards of SAP, you know that there are these different profiles, like overall profile, evaluation profile, time profile. We followed some kind of the same concept, but in that case, in our case, planning profile is actually deciding the layout of conOS. So here, for example, I have different ones. The first one, operations planning. When I say operations planning, then the layout would be completely different, because the first one is dispatched, second one is deallocated, but the third one is now we are showing the utilization per capacity. And if if I'm okay with the utilization information that I have, then I can jump to operations planning missing parts planning profile. And after go, you will see that this third chart is not used for the utilization curve, but the operations with missing parts. So it means that even if this order is planned or deallocated, if it has a missing part, if this operation has a missing part, then I can see this operation there. But not only this, I also have this missing part list. So here, I do see already which components are missing for which production orders. So for this production order, this material is missing. And if I want to fix this problem, or if I want to see more, then I can jump either to the production order or the sales order or the coverage of material. It's a S4 application. Like I said, we want to use also the other standard Fiori applications. And I don't know if I jump, like if I lose the screen that I share. But let's try, for example, we have also MD04 jump that I want to see the details of this order. Okay, I think you are able to see. So we have this MD04 view jump directly to the web GUI of MD04. And as a planner, if I want, I can also fix this missing part issue there. I just shortly need to go back to conOS. So this was the information about the planning profile we have. And the time profile is also customizable. It's also depending on your planning horizon. And in that case, like -2 + 6 months, I did the widest one, but normally what our mission with conOS is to plan the orders maximum within like 8 weeks, or like maximum actually within +3 weeks, because really short-term planning. And also the capacity selection, I think it's clear that we are able to show different work centers, and you would be able to find your work centers easily and select them. And you can save them, this whole tree selection in your variant. So it was in that case my variant. Let's to have a better view, I'm just hiding this filter bar. So what we have here is that I have this work center list that I'm doing the capacity planning. Also the same work centers in the deallocated part. And I do see the operations. So some of these operations here are just like order and this operation 10. And this is just, this order has only one operation, so I'm not able to see any relationship with the other operations. But if I, for example, I know this commissioning, assembly, and packing, they are actually the operations of the same order. So when I want to see the relationships, I'm also able to see it easily. So like it's easy to find the following operations with this Gantt view. What else do we have here is that this coloring, what are these coloring meaning in this planning profile? Is that the dark green ones are actually the released orders. So if you check this quick info, in the end, you see the status is released, dispatched, and released. And if I, for example, do this quick info for the next one, you would see that this order has status dispatched, but it's not released yet. So because in the BRF engine that I decided to have this kind of coloring. When an order is released, then make it dark green so that I would be able to see it easily what is not released, because it is not sent to production in that case. And if I want to release it, because like release activity is mostly going with the nightly jobs and with the planning horizon. But when I have a new order just came to conOS and I planned it, I can also easily release this order with right click, edit order status, release order. And this I think has a missing part. But like when I want to, for example, release this order. For example, this order was able to be released even if it has a missing part. So it says, okay, I released it, but I also changed the etiquette color because now you have the missing part issue because I did the missing part check during the order release. So this information until save is just for me as a simulation, but after I save it, then you will also see it in order details in CO02. The other coloring, maybe just a short information about the colors, is that also these blues are actually showing the planned orders. So This whole coloring can be designed as how you want. You can also design it because we are also giving the workshop for BRF. So if you don't have knowledge about BRF, we are also delivering all these documents because in the end, we really want a plugin solution. So we will deliver it. We will give you the whole information how to customize it. If you need any questions or if you see any errors, we are always ready to fix it and to support it. But like I said, you would be able to change conOS how you want. In that case, like for example, I have one planned order there. And here, if you noticed that I have this red line. This was in the roadmap list. I forgot to mention, but this is actually one of the most important functionality we have. It's the pegging functionality. So it means that if you don't have this collective order case, so if you don't have really one-to-one relationship between finished and semi-finished, but you still want to keep the track of the requirement dates for the semi-finished ones, or also the requirement date of the finished ones, the requirement date of the customer order, you would see this with this pegging line. So let's do it with a easy example. This order. This is just one order with 3 different operations. This has this issue with the pegging because the end time of my operation is actually passing this requirement date. What is this requirement date? When I want to see more about this requirement for this product, the product that is going to be produced in this process, then I can go to the operation details. And here I have this pegged requirements part. So in the upper part, it's actually like quick info, but more details, and also information about the components of this order. In the pegged requirements, I do see for this material, so here I have this material number 181, which is CO2 laser engraving machine. And for this 181 product, I actually have a customer order there. And because of this customer order, I have one piece of requirement which has to be produced till the 21st of March. So I do know that as a planner, I do have to be finished. I do have to be done with this production till that date in order to catch my customer requirement date. Not only for this customer order and finished product relation, there is also this relationship between finished products and semi-finished. So in that case, this pre-assembly is actually, I think it doesn't have any requirement. Yeah, this one, for example, this pre-assembly has a requirement date, which is actually good, really good planned because it will be done until that time. And when I want to learn more details, then I go to operation details of this order, and then I see, okay, there is a pegged requirement for this order, for this material, 182, because actually 182 is a component of this 181 that I want to produce there. So even if it's like, since it's not collective order, I don't see any kind of relationship there between these two. Actually, the product that I'm going to produce in the end of this operation is actually the component for the other operation of the finished product. So like this whole relationships between the requirements and the orders, you would be able to see there. If there are more pegged requirements, then you would see the whole list there. But this red line is only showing the earliest requirement date. So it's important, while doing the planning, it's important to not pass this date. For example, in that case, I have an issue there. I do see an issue that I'm not able to catch this pack date, this requirement date. Actually, yeah, I'm not able to. So what I can do is that I can say, okay, let's then work in non-working time, because since this time period is a weekend, then therefore my order is getting longer, because it says scheduler thinks so that, okay, I can start with this order when this operation 20 is finished. Okay, I can start with it, but I cannot continue in the weekend, so that I wait in the weekend and I do the rest on Monday. But if I really physically don't have this option, like if I cannot like stop the production and come and do it Monday, and also if I really want to catch this date, then I can say, okay, now I want to plan. I can use this strategy here, planning in non-working periods. So I can say, okay, let me plan this again. Now it says, okay, I need to work. This operation has to be done even in the non-working times, so that it would be finished till this pegging, this requirement date. Afterwards, you can also change the shift times. Right now, since we are developing right now the shift changes, I'm not able to show the change of the shifts. But as a planner, I can also, if I want to make it everything correct, then I can also make like 2 hours more for that specific day, 18th of March. What I can also, about the shifts itself, we said that we are visualizing the shifts. We can, with the right click on this work center, we have this expand shifts part. So with this expand shifts, in that case, I have one block shift. So in that case, I don't have morning, lunch, and afternoon shifts, but one shift in that case, 14 hours, starting from 6, ending in at 9 p.m. with 1 hour break. And I also see the utilization and the individual capacities. But if you would have like more than one shift, 3-shift program, 2-shift program, then you would also be able to see it there. If you just want to use this shift functionality of conOS, not like don't want to click on each of these work centers and see this shift start and end times, there is also a planning profile just for design to show you the shifts. So like just really a short example. I don't want to do planning. I just want to know my shifts. Then this is the planning profile. Right now, everything is also changed. Like I do see shift times and the utilization per capacity, no planning actions. And I do see the shift times for different work centers. In that case, they may seem to be having the same start and end dates, but you should know that like pre-assembly has 1 hour break, but welding doesn't have. So, and we also can color them, show them differently. So just wanted to show you how flexible we can be with this planning profile concept. Maybe 5 more minutes before going to Q&A, just 5 more minutes about the functionality itself. That's, let's say that we don't need this utilization part and we want to plan some orders. I have here some planned orders that are waiting to be planned. And what I can do is that if I'm sure that planned orders are going to be produced, I can easily select them. This all bit with my control button. Could be also from the work list, but it was easier in that case as I don't have that much operations. As I want these planned orders to be converted into production orders, I can also do it via conOS with this edit order, convert planned orders. Then my orders are converted. And then when I want to schedule them, then I can check my scheduling strategy. So these are actually the all activation buttons of the scheduling strategies, but also I have the strategy profile pop up that you see all of them together. So finish scheduling, date entry, we can also use it, but let's don't use it in that case, like we have enough capacity there already. Backward scheduling to catch the requirement date of all of these orders. Planning in non-working periods, right now we don't need it. Yeah, like I would use those ones in that case. And after doing the planning, they would be planned to the, actually it's the same time, because like the system says that, okay, I have enough capacity there, so why not planning that? And let's say that it was just a simulation mode. With undo, I can easily make this situation back, and then I can do, like for example, in that case, I wanted to fill this gap there. Let's check if we can do it. Yeah, because I activated dispatch at earliest point in time. Don't make any gaps between orders. Then it tried to dispatch in the earliest possible time. Then I can play with it. I can, like, if I don't like this kind of plan, then I can, for example, select these two orders. And then let's deactivate this one. And then I can shift them there. This one that I can shift there. So, but as soon as I do save, everything is in simulation. After save, you would see exactly the same. So in that case, after save, it also checked the missing parts, and it came out to be that I have more missing parts. But if I want to know this even before the save, then I should have used this ATP check after dispatch. Okay, so I would like to also show you more details about the functionalities if you would be interested. I just wanted to show you today the most important functionalities, like this pegging and this shift display, and also missing parts check, jumping to different transactions to fix this missing part issues. And also wanted to give you this impression that it's really flexible, and it's really easily applicable to your production planning type. Yes. So we can start with the Q&A session. I will go back. So,
all right. Thank you, Selen, very much for such a great presentation. We will start right away with our Q&A session. We already have some couple questions in the chat section. And the first question, what are the main functional benefits of conOS compared to standard Fiori apps?
So in the functional wise, what we have compared to, so I think it's better to make this comparison between conOS and S4 applications. So not with the PPDS and these automated solutions. It would be better with the normal Fiori applications or also with CM27. As the functionality itself, I would say that really applicable